Co., and earned a master's degree in computer science from Ball State University in Indiana. Before joining the Boulder Police Department, Officer Talley worked in information technology. But at the age of 40, he felt a higher calling to switch career paths and join law enforcement after the tragic death of a friend. In 2013, while serving as a police officer, he made local news when he waded into a drainage ditch to rescue a mother duck and her ducklings that were trapped in the ditch. Officer Talley was one of the first officers to join the Boulder Police Department's drone team in 2017, where he worked with new technologies to find ways to improve public safety and keep police officers safe. His colleagues, friends, and family describe Officer Talley as a man who worked as hard as he could to make a difference in the lives of others every single day. He exemplified selflessness in life and in his final act. A beloved husband and father of 7, Officer Talley was known for his kindness, compassion, and love for his family. He enjoyed board games, fly fishing, golfing, and had a black belt in karate. Naming a post officer for Officer Eric Talley is an appropriate way to honor his distinguished career and contributions to his state and country. I urge all of my colleagues to support this bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman reserves. The gentleman is recognized.
I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of this bill to name the post office in Boulder, Colorado after Officer Eric Talley. Officer Talley served as a police officer in Boulder for 11 years before being killed during a mass shooting at a local grocery store, King's Supers, in Boulder, Colorado, on March 22, 2001. Officer Talley was the first police officer to arrive at the scene and one of 10 individuals who would be killed that day. He left behind a wife and 7 children, who our hearts go out to. I support this bill in honor of an American hero, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I now yield because of time constraints and scheduling problems as much time as he may consume to the distinguished chair of the Congressional LGBT Equality Caucus. He has a bill coming up, but he must get to a vote and other things, so he has asked to speak now. The gentleman from New York, Representative Maloney, is now recognized.
The gentleman is recognized. My colleague from New York, and I rise to speak on my bill, H.R. 767. It honors the life of the late Congressman Benjamin A. Gilman. It enshrines his storied career in public service at the Fulton Street Post Office in Middletown, New York. You know, Ben Gilman was a true statesman and a tireless representative for the people of the Hudson Valley. When I was first elected, I was told I should try to be like Ben, to try to fill the shoes of this giant and carry on his great tradition of public service and delivering results. Ben was nothing less than an American patriot. He was born in Poughkeepsie in 1922. He served in the Army Corps in World War II. He flew 35 combat missions over Japan and earned the Distinguished Flying Cross. After the war, he graduated from the Wharton School and from New York Law School. He went on to be an assistant New York Attorney General in the 1950s, a lawyer in private practice, and then found a calling in public service as a New York Assemblyman from 1966 to 1972, and of course became my community's representative in Congress for the next 30 years after that. He was often called Gentle Ben because of his remarkable humility, and because he elevated constituent service to an art form. Ben was beloved throughout my district, never missing a pancake breakfast with farmers or firefighters. But as chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, he was known on the world stage and deeply respected by allies and adversaries alike. He was called a moderate then, but that just meant he rose above the fray and political parties and did the right thing, always putting his people first. Above all, of course, he was a father and a husband, and he loved his family, and we pray for his widow, Georgia, even as we honor his public career in this House. And with that, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of a distinguished veteran, a congressional ambassador, larger-than-life figure, and a fellow New Yorker, I urge my colleagues to support and pass H.R. 767 to immortalize Ben Gilman's legacy at the Fulton Street Post Office in his home of Middletown, New York. And I yield back.
The gentleman reserves. Woman reserves.
I reserve.
And then the gentleman from Kansas is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I have no further speakers, and I am prepared to close.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this bill in honor of an American hero and yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The gentlewoman from New York is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I urge passage of H.R. 3210 and yield back the balance of my time.
Okay, the gentlewoman yields back. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill H.R. 3210? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New York seek recognition?
I move that the House suspend the rules and agree to the bill H.R. 767.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
H.R. 767, a bill to designate the facility of the United States Postal Service located at 40 Fulton Street in Middletown, New York, as the Benjamin A. Gilman Post Office Building.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentlewoman from New York, Ms. Maloney, and the gentleman from Kansas, Ms. Turner, will each control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from New York.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on this measure.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I yield myself as much time as I may consume. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 767 to designate the facility of the United States Postal Service located at 40 Fulton Street in Middletown, New York, as the Benjamin A. Gilman Post Office Building. Benjamin Arthur Gilman was a distinguished public servant with decades of service to both his state of New York and the United States at large. He was born in Poughkeepsie, New York, on December 6, 1922. He graduated from Middletown High School in Middletown, New York, in 1941. He received a B.S. from the Wharton School of Business and Finance at the University of Pennsylvania in 1946. From 1942 to 45, he served in the United States Army Air Corps. After his time in military service, he received a law degree from New York Law School in 1950. From 1953 to 1955, he served as an Assistant Attorney General to the New York State Attorney General. He then served as a member of the New York State Assembly from 1966 to 72. In 72, he was elected to serve as a member of Congress, serving for 3 decades before retiring in 2003. During his time in this House, he was chair of the Committee on International Relations. Congressman Gilman died on December 17, 2016, in New York State. Given his decades of service to our nation, it is only fitting that he be remembered by renaming this post office in his honor. I encourage my colleagues to support this legislation, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman reserves. The gentleman is recognized.
I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of this bill to name a post office after the late Representative Benjamin Arthur Gilman. Congressman Gilman was a Republican member who represented New York between 1973